Okay, this is my week 3 production video. The focus of my work this semester is to make a short animated action scene focusing on dynamic camera movement and stylization. The related work I want to bring up in reference to what I want to work on first is the tree surfing scene from Tarzan. The reason I've included this is I think it's a great representation of personality through animated movement. It's kind of chaos and control in the one scene. You kind of get a grasp of who this guy is from his movement, and I think personality through physical animation and character movement is something I really want to evolve my skill set into doing. And just the dynamic camera movement, the zooms, the way that follows the characters around. It's just something that I've never really focused on and always kind of wanted to get better at, and so this really is a focus for me this in the coming weeks. As far as the work goes, I feel like this animation really inspired like a new movement in animation, the combination of like a 3D camera with 2D characters, and kind of led to this new wave of how you can introduce characters and show their kind of personalities and the way they move, and how the camera can help emphasize that. I'm just moving on really quickly to another example of something similar, but more modern. Is the recent game Guilty Gear Strive with the big animated super scenes. So as you can see in this one, lots of dynamic camera movement that really emphasize the weight and the impact of what's happening on screen. I think these are really well done, and something that I'm particularly focusing on since I'm doing an action scene with punches, and these animations still manage to retain the individual personality of the fighters too, which is something that I'm focusing on, especially in the coming week. Just to finish off for my related works, the fight scene from Cowboy Bebop. I think this is interesting because the use of smears and slow motion help sell the story, the narration of what's going on, despite the fact there's very little dialogue. They stop and exchange dialogue here, but the story is really being told through the movement. Particularly the expression of Spike, he's kind of joyous and playful, and the other character is much more frustrated, and it's been shown in their movements. Like, we've got some really nice smears, and just similar to Tarzan, the personalities are being expressed through their movement. And I just think the unique choreography with him fighting with the broom and stuff is just, it really gave animators an idea for like new ways to do fight scenes. The camera moves a little more static in this particular scene, but that doesn't stop the scene having a lot of personality, and that's definitely something I want to capture in the coming weeks. As far as my production process this week, I begun just by nailing down the two characters. It's annoying. In my animated scene, so they're actually from a comic that I made a couple of years ago. So I had to go through a process of simplifying them and making them for animation. So taking the detail out, kind of, I gave this character baggier pants so I could use a lot of follow through in her movements, and yeah, just make their silhouettes stand out more. That's kind of where I started off with, and then I went and whipped up a quick storyboard, just to show like a really simple scene that's in scope that I can make in the coming weeks, that kind of achieves what I want to achieve. So ideas of quick zooms following the arm through on the punch to really like immerse the audience in that scene, and just give them a sense that they're up close and personal in this, while also showing off like the personality of the character here. Like, she's got a little smirk before she knees him, and obviously his expression after that. So these are the kind of the things I really want to focus on. These are the particular goals I want to achieve for this animation. Obviously, after that, the next step was just a little animatic that I made, which isn't going to play because I'm using QuickTime Player. Great. Oh, it is. And this just helped me get the pacing and timing down of the particular scene. I'm still not completely happy with it, but it's at least given me a rough idea. You can see I've tried to pick camera angles that are more dynamic and kind of a challenge for me to draw, but keep the audience engaged and kind of lure them in. So the final thing I've kind of worked on this week is just a quick pencil test, a very rough pencil test of the punch. I was hoping to show a looped version, but I can just play this a couple of times. So this is very rough, but it has the zoom that I want there. He kind of gets closer to frame when he rears back before throwing the punch, and the camera kind of zooms back out on them. So this is just a small kind of like idea of the overall things I want to achieve moving forward, but it's a decent start. But yeah, moving forward to the next week, I really just want to focus on doing some more pencil tests, playing with camera moves in After Effects to really emphasize that movement and kind of create that synergy between the camera and the characters moving. So like I said, following through on that arm, like really pushing the camera in close. Maybe playing with a little bit of like slow down and stuff, similar to the Cowboy Bebop example I used before. And just finally just fleshing out smaller details, so the expressions on the characters. That was part of the feedback I got this week, and that's something I really want to kind of focus on. It marries into the idea that I was talking about earlier of personality coming out through movement, but if we can have some expression to help that along, it's not a bad thing, and I really just want to create that sense of personality within the characters. So yeah, that's my focus moving forward. Lots of pencil tests and hopefully some feedback to see if I can really push that movement. Maybe start getting towards more of like a final looking scene. Okay, great. That's not